So it's been a while since I posted a video in my channel, but I've been thinking about in the last few months the direction that I want to take it. And I think I still want to create travel videos, but I want to talk about more on how I'm able to travel and how I was able to pursue one of my dreams by taking some leaps of faith a couple of years ago. 8 years ago, I quit my job to go all in on content creation. At the time, I think Instagram had just implemented the IGTV feature. So short form content was sort of a new thing at the time. But I was able to recognize that opportunity through seeing the need of big YouTubers cutting their long videos into short form snippets to start adding into some of these new features that are being added to social networks. At the time, I was working a job at Sprint, and before that I worked different jobs, but that was my last job. The reason I want to talk about it is because I think it was a pivotal moment in what I'm doing now. It was I believe August in 2017. I had taken a trip to Florence, Italy. And while I was away, I was getting emails from my boss asking me questions. And I think I replied something like, I'm on vacation. I don't, really feel like I need to be replying right now. And one thing he told me that I'll never forget was, if you really cared about your career in this company, it doesn't matter if you're on vacation. And I thought about it that night. I remember looking out the window of my Airbnb, seeing that famous bridge in Florence, hearing the sounds of the people, and then checking my phone and seeing that message and realizing, no, I really don't care about this as a career. And it was that moment that I decided to quit and go all in on figuring out how to turn this world of content creation into a business. At the time, I didn't even know how to edit that well. I would use this app on I think it was a GoPro app called Quick, and all I had was my cell phone and a GoPro to make videos. And I was just making them for fun. I wasn't even trying to make money off of them. But the videos that I would make started to gain attention because I would tag local businesses or airlines, hotels, whatever. I just wanted more people to see my videos. I wasn't really doing it with the intention of making money. And I submitted that email, pretty much my 2 weeks notice, in the beginning of that trip. And I spent 2 weeks in Italy unemployed because I quit. That led to 2 years of learning how to edit, learning how to create content that will provide value to people. And going from working with just my iPhone and a GoPro, I was able to purchase my first camera. And I did what I had to do for 2 years just to chase this passion that I had of making videos for a living and continue to travel the world. So what I want to talk about in this video is some of the lessons that I learned in the last 8 years of creating content, because I see that now it's become sort of like the norm for businesses to put themselves out there, for people to start a personal brand, because now in 2025, it's extremely clear that if you're not on social media, you're missing out on a big piece of the pie when it comes to marketing. And the sooner you create a personal brand or establish yourself as the expert in your field, or establish your business on social media as a place that communicates with their client base and community, the sooner you will start to reap the benefits of what social media has to offer and start getting those leads and sales. So if you guys don't know me, if this is the first time you see me, my name is Bernardo Ortega. A lot of people call me Bernie because of my Instagram handle name. That's my fault. I chose that name because my real name was unavailable. And the first thing I want to talk about is start with what you have. Whether you're a business, an individual that's selling a product, or somebody like me that wants to create content for other people, Don't wait until you have the best equipment. Don't wait until you have the knowledge that it takes to edit videos. Start with what you have now, because that's the only way you're going to get through the hurdles of learning how to troubleshoot, because editing for the most part is just troubleshooting and using your creativity and ideas to get into the software and create compelling content that's gonna drive views, comments, shares, saves, engagement, value overall. So don't wait until you have the best camera, the best lenses, the best lighting. If all you have right now is your cell phone and you're trying to sell real estate, or you're trying to be a fitness trainer and teach people how to become more healthy and strong, or whether you are a local bakery that makes these delicious cupcakes every day, I don't know, whatever it is, if all you have is your cell phone, start with that. And when it comes to the editing, I would say I started with iMovie because I didn't know anything else, and I honestly didn't have the money to spend on any subscription or just flat out purchase any editing service. So I started with iMovie, and eventually I kind of maxed out my knowledge of iMovie, so I moved on to Premiere Pro because I would see a lot of the people that I would follow would use Premiere Pro. And the first time I opened that, it was just, I didn't know where to start. I just saw all these different features and got a little bit overwhelmed. But that's the second thing that I want to talk about, which is continuous learning. In the beginning, again, I didn't know where to start. I just knew that I had these ideas that were already getting attention with minimal effort that I was doing on my first travel videos, I guess you could call them, from some like airlines, hotels, restaurants. I would get DMs from people asking that they can use my video whenever I made a video. So that kind of gave me the first push of confidence. But if you're just starting off and you don't know like how to get started, I would say go on YouTube. A lot of the information that I learned in the beginning was from other content creators that would share tutorials on how to edit videos. I'll even shout out some of the ones that taught me a lot, like Justin Odisho. He has an extensive library on how to edit, not just on Premiere Pro, but I think After Effects. He might tap into Photoshop. This guy's been doing it for a while. And in the beginning, I would watch his videos and learn a lot about editing. Another one was, I would say, pick a creator that you like, a certain style, and try to learn as much as you can of those things that you like about that creator. For me, it was Gary Vee. And fortunately, he was pumping out, and still is, so much content that it gave me a variety of different things that I wanted to learn. Whether it was transitions, subtitles, these little time bars that he would put in his videos, the outro to his short videos like Reels. I don't know, just so many things that I must have watched all his Daily V videos, even the long, I think 8-hour video that he did in Dubai. I watched tons of his keynote speeches, and I've read all his books except the last one. What I would do is, even if I didn't know what the effect was called, or I don't know, the sound or the whatever I would see in some of these videos, I would jot it down on a list, and then I would just create this huge list of things that I didn't know what they were and figure it out. So whether it be this swoosh that I hear between transitions, how do you do that? Or the glitch transition effect, or how do they make images pop in and out and smoothly when they mention something. I made a huge list that I would go one by one and learn, and it was all based off the videos that I liked from Gary Vee. I'm sure there was a few others, but the majority were from him. So I owe a lot of what I've learned from the content that he put out. And he even says it in his videos. Don't just listen to what he does, pay attention to what he does, because a lot of what he says is repetitive. But if you watch what he's doing, it helps you a lot with learning, if you really want to learn how to edit videos. So continuous learning, definitely, it never ends, even now. Right now, what I'm tapping into heavily is AI. Anytime I see something that I like, I'll start using the software, free trials. If I have to pay, I'll pay for a couple months, see if it's worth it. And AI has helped me a lot with my workflow. So if you want to create videos and create content, just know that continuous learning, you'll probably never stop. And it's a good thing, because it'll help you stay on trends and also ahead of your competition. One thing that I want to add is that eventually you might reach a point where the free knowledge has its limit, and it gets to the point where once you start having clients and you're going after more clients, time is very important. So what I started to do was, if there was something that I just couldn't figure it out on my own, I started looking for courses. There's tons of courses out there that people offer. Unfortunately, some of them might not be so great, but even if you learn one single thing from a course, it can go a long way because it saves you time. And that's what matters the most when it comes to creating videos, is how fast can you learn something so that you can implement it over and over and over again to help people. And for me, it was, I remember the first time I was trying to figure out how to do the subtitles with the colors and the sound effects. I just couldn't, I knew how to do it, I just didn't know how to do it fast. So I found this guy, I don't even remember, but he had a course for like, ¿Ya cerró? Ooh, okay. Sorry, I'm here in the Mayan ruins in Tulum. I think they're about to close, so they're telling me I couldn't go towards the beach side. So I found this course of a guy that was teaching people how to do exactly that for $63, I think. So I paid, and the dude had all the answers I needed. So I didn't even care. It could have been $300 and it would have been worth it for me. So once you get to the point where you've learned a lot and you know how to navigate through these softwares, it's worth it to invest in learning more a lot quicker from people that have been doing this for a long time. And then also when it comes to self-education, I read a lot of books, but when it comes to reading books, I see that a lot of people tend to get addicted to reading books. Eventually you have to apply the knowledge that you have. What I started to do is every time I read a chapter, I go back to the first page and I jot down 3 or 5 things that I learned and try to implement them right away. And if you guys are wondering what's a good book when it comes to social media and creating content, I would say Crush It. It's a little outdated now, Crush It by Gary Vee, but there's gonna be a lot of the fundamentals in there. And anyone that's ever read that book can say that it probably helped them get ahead from a lot of the things that he teaches. Another thing that I think will help you guys, that helped me when I got started, is doing a lot of free work. And I know what some of you guys might be thinking, that, you know, how am I supposed to make money? Well, while I was learning how to make videos and use a camera for the first time, I was still doing odd jobs. I mean, even though I quit Sprint, I still needed to make money, right? It's just that I needed to do something that gave me a little bit more free time. And for 2 years, I was doing whatever, DoorDash, Postmates, Amazon Flex. It's a service that delivers packages to people's houses. I didn't want to do Uber, so I didn't want to deal with people, but I was doing these food deliveries and Amazon deliveries on my own time. And then I would go back home, watch videos, take my camera out, film people for free, because when I didn't have experience, I needed to create experience. And I figured out very quickly that the people that I could work with that would allow me to work with them, whether I had experience or not, were people that were really struggling with social media or didn't understand the dynamics of it, and they were trying to already create content on their own. So I started helping a lot of these people with things that I had already learned, and it would make a difference in their presence. So I didn't just try to get clients right away because I knew I was going to drop the ball. So I started working with people that needed the help, but were okay with me not being the best at it, I guess you could say. And then that allowed me to be able to show case studies and how I was able to take someone from one point to the other. It was months of free work while I did other things. And one of those people, I don't know if you guys will be able to see me. I'm going through a tunnel. One of those people that I was able to work with and that helped me out a lot. ¿Dónde está la salida? ¿Por acá? Sí. Was who I consider a close friend of mine now, Reezy. He has a YouTube channel where he teaches people how to make money by reselling things online. And at the time when I met him, I saw him post a video. I think I was already watching some of his content, but I had seen him post a video on Instagram on stories, saying, if anybody knows how to create short videos from my long videos, reach out to me. I'm looking to hire someone. So without even contacting him, I didn't know him at the time, I went ahead and created a video that looked like one of the Gary Vee videos because I knew he would watch Gary Vee. And I just sent it to him. And I said, what do you think? He immediately replied, sent me his number, said to call him. And then that's kind of how our relationship started. But he, for a while, didn't pay me because he was also teaching me how to do what he did, which I was not that good at. But it exposed me to a lot of people in that world. And I was able to travel with him to different states and film him. And then that's how I was able to meet other people. And it gave me a lot of experience. So I'm very thankful for, I don't know where I'm going, but I just follow the crowd. I'll go this way. So I'm very thankful for, nope, that's not it. All right, sorry, I had to cut it over there because I got a little lost. But just finishing what I was saying is, I was able to gain a lot of experience by working with Reezy. And I met tons of people. And because he was always so active on social media, I had a place to show people where my work was. And that led to getting a lot of clients because they would see the success that he was having. And of course, I mean, a lot of that success came from his own efforts, but I was just helping him by creating these short videos. So one, I gained the experience and was able to help somebody with the work. And two, starting getting paying clients after that. Another piece of advice, starting to get windy over here. I honestly don't know where I'm going, but doesn't matter. I'm teaching you guys. Okay, so another piece of advice, something that I wish I would have done early in the beginning, is optimizing your workflow. What I mean by that is figuring out shortcuts to what you already know how to do. So I hope you guys can hear me because it's very windy, but let's see how the video turns out. So one of the things would be, for example, keyboard shortcuts. Huge, right? Because that's what you're doing day in and day out. You're just editing. So the faster you can add shortcuts, your own custom shortcuts to the keyboard when you're editing, the faster your workflow would be, right? So that's a big one. It took me a while to figure out which shortcuts I'd be comfortable with. Hang on, I'm walking on some rocks, so I'll make sure I don't fall in this video. And it's not just the shortcuts, the keyboard shortcuts. There's also workflow shortcuts, like things that you know you do repetitively. So let's say subtitles. Short form videos require subtitles so people could watch them without the audio being on. Figuring out a way to do these captions fast. That would require creating presets sometimes on Premiere Pro, where you have certain presets for the different clients that you're working with. So you don't have to create the fonts and the colors and the shadow, whatever it is that's part of that client's brand. Having that already set up saves you tons of time. And one big one also is, and this is where you're gonna start investing in your business, is investing in subscriptions that are gonna allow you to implement and gather different assets that will make your workflow a lot faster. There's a few that I use almost every day. One would be Envato. That software allows you to gather everything pretty much, from stock footage to video templates to graphic templates to transitions, audio, songs. There's just an endless amount of resources that you can use there. Try not to get overwhelmed. Gather the ones you know you're going to be using the most. Put them in the library somewhere, in the drive that you're going to use as your kind of your go-to drive for using these assets that you're going to use over and over again. Another subscription that I have, and honestly I don't use that often, is Epidemic Sound. Epidemic Sound has copyright-free music that's actually really, really good. Once you start using it, you're gonna start to recognize a lot of those songs and even commercials you see on TV. So it's a service that even big corporations use. And I use it because sometimes I don't wanna use trendy sounds on Instagram or TikTok. I wanna have something that's more unique to my client so they can stand out. So using a service like Epidemic Sound will help you from also getting a song or a video taken down due to copyright. You own these songs in a sense, depending on how many views they get though, so make sure you look out for that. And most recently, if you got this far into the video, this is probably gonna make this video worth it for you. Recently, I started to use a service called Submagic, which makes adding subtitles to your videos and sound effects and B-roll footage and emojis so much easier and faster. And that's kind of been my little secret in the last few months, but I'm seeing more and more people use it, so whatever, I don't care. I'm trying not to gatekeep because I think that's counterproductive for myself. I think the more I teach people, the more I get back. I don't know if that makes sense, but I've come to realize that. But the more I teach, the more I end up getting back. So, Sup Magic. I'll add that to the subscription as well. And I think if you go through my link, I get like a, I don't know, discount or something. But Sup Magic has eliminated the time I spent creating subtitles. It saves me so much time, man. Once you start using it, you'll know why. So there you have it, Sup Magic. A huge nugget for this video. So investing is very important at one point to help your workflow move a lot faster. I think right now I probably pay around close to $500 a month in subscriptions, and a lot of them are mostly just to test them out. I would say more than half of the subscriptions that I use right now, I'm just paying so that I can test it out and see if I can learn something or if it's actually gonna work. Because my goal is speed. The faster I can create content for my clients, the more people I can work with, and the faster I can get results for them. In the beginning, yes, learn as much as you can. Learn the entire process. Don't try to jump straight to shortcuts because it might just hurt you in the long run, because then you won't know how to do something. So it's okay to learn how to do captions the long way in the beginning, because in that process of learning, you're gonna learn other things. And then eventually, yeah, jump into the shortcuts, right? Don't get discouraged in the beginning. It's a learning curve when it comes to editing. And when it comes to equipment, again, I started with a phone and a GoPro, but you can only go so far using that. And eventually I started to learn about lighting, sound, and the types of camera and the kind of lenses to use. That played a huge role. That's where you definitely start to see the change in going from just posting videos that you make from your cell phone to making high quality videos using high quality gear. So some of the first cameras that I used, my first real camera was a Panasonic GH5, and I did so much with that camera until I dropped it from a car. It still worked, but I ended up buying something else, what I have now, Blackmagic. But starting off with even the basic Sonys can go a long way. Understanding lenses, understanding f-stops, the different sizes and what you could do, and the lighting as well. So I would say if you're gonna start to go from just creating content with your phone, the next step in this order would be proper audio. So get yourself like one of these, a lavalier, some type of wireless mic. I would recommend the new DJI, I think they're called DJI Pro 2, I don't know, again, they'll be linked in the description. Or something more affordable like the one I'm using right now. It's called Saramonic, sounds great. I've been using these for a long time and haven't had any issues with them, and they're a little bit more affordable. So it would be sound and then lighting. Understand key lighting, hair light, an asset light in the background. You know, how to transform the way a room looks when you do these talking head videos. They're informative. And then, of course, when it comes down to cameras, then you want to understand the lenses and what you can do with a variety of different lenses. If you want more information on that, I can, ask me in the comments and maybe I'll create a different video explaining. But for now, just know that you will eventually have to go from your cell phone to an actual camera. Now, once you're at the stage where you are now familiar with editing videos, now you're able to do transitions, now you're able to understand sound effects, lighting, and different cameras, and you start making maybe a little bit of money from helping one or two people. How do you convert this into a business? How do you make over $10,000 a month creating content? You're going to have to start helping clients in a variety of different fields in the beginning to see what you're best at. I try to stay within the real estate field. So anything that has to do with real estate, mortgage, lenders, architects, escrow. And then I love filming properties. I'm actually here in Tulum right now because I came to film properties, new developments in Tulum and Playa del Carmen. But I also dabble with fitness trainers. I love filming fitness trainers because I like making those cool videos. But you also want to keep in mind that if you want to charge a lot of money in these videos and make over $10,000, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. You don't want to get a lot of different clients that are only paying you about 500 bucks a month, because then that becomes a lot of work, right? And if you're just starting off and you're doing this on your own, then it's going to become overwhelming and, you know, experience burnout, which has happened to me a few times. So what I would say is, yes, in the beginning, dabble into different fields, restaurants, fitness trainers, gyms, real estate, but try to become an expert in one or two of those so that you become known for that, and it becomes a lot easier to get high-paying clients. I guess another piece of advice that I have about that is that in order for you to be able to charge $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month from these clients, you need to, unfortunately, whatever it is that they're selling needs to be also high of value. Like however much money they're making per sale needs to be a certain amount for them to be able to afford your services or justify them paying you that much. There's a difference between charging a barbershop $2,000 a month to get more people to walk in, and there is charging a real estate agent $2,000 a month to help them get 2 more sales a month that are going to get them between $15,000 to $18,000 in commission each, right? So you can start off with whoever, but understand that in order for you to make that type of money, your work, the results that you bring in need to match how much money they're making from those results. That's just something to keep in mind. Don't get me wrong, I still help out people that I'm not really, I guess, making that much from, just because I genuinely enjoy what I do and allows me to kind of test different things out. But just keep in mind that if you're gonna be working with a lot of low-paying clients, then it's gonna end up being, you're either not gonna make that much money and not be able to quit your job, or you're gonna just experience burnout. And telling you from experience, it's not healthy. Honestly, I probably have some health issues from the first 2 years from, you know, sleepless nights. But anyways, just keep in mind the cost per sale of your client plays a major role of how much money you're gonna be making. And where I'm at now is, after 8 years of creating content, I started to realize where my gap was in helping my clients. You know, in the last 8 years, all I've been doing is making videos that attract attention to my clients and drives conversation and ultimately can lead to results, right? To leads or sales. But the one thing that I was having trouble with was, how do I convert that attention into a sale? Like, how do I control that? And that's been my focus in the last year. And I've been able to construct a process that can help my clients gather attention by creating content for different social media platforms and funneling that attention through lead magnets, nurturing that attention, and ultimately driving sales. That's what I've been focusing on lately for myself and for my clients. And lastly, I would like to end this with telling you guys what I've noticed over the last 8 years from creating content for businesses is I'm starting to see where I can help people the most. And I think now, because there's such a demand for businesses or people that are wanting to build a brand or a presence on social media, I came to the realization that I can't work with everybody. I prefer to stick to a few people and help them grow. But there's also, every week I have new people reach out to me asking me, you know, how do I make videos? Or they'll show me a certain type of video. How do I make this? Or I'm struggling with that, and they ask me questions. So that brings me back to the whole point of this video. If you see some of my previous videos, it's all just travel videos, kind of like travel vlogs. And I think now the direction that I want to take my channel is I want to start showing people how to create content, because that was the way that I learned. It was by watching other YouTubers. And I think that now I'm at the position where I could share a lot of information from what I've learned that has given me the opportunity to be, frankly, here in the beach in Tulum, making the video about how to create content. So if you guys want to hear more in the coming weeks on all the basics that I know, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and I'll try to be more consistent in dropping videos that'll show you guys different ways that can help you build a personal brand and create content in an easy and efficient way. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching. I'm gonna continue walking down this beach and enjoy the sunset. So I'll see you guys soon.